Hello, I'm Mike Whitty, co-founder of BLOCKY, and today I want to show you how we are thinking about getting trusted execution environment attestations on chain. What we'll use is our API, BLOCKY attestation service, and we will attest an API call to opentdb.com from where we will get a trivia question and answer. And so here we are calling BLOCKY attestation service and getting back an enclave attestation and a transitive attestation. We'll kind of get to those in a second. And BLOCKY AS CLI will verify that enclave attestation and then produce an application public key bytes, and then the transitive attestation, which we'll save in TA bin. So the way the process looks for getting attestations on chain is as follows. A user gets an enclave attestation from the BLOCKY attestation service and then verifies this. This is using BLOCKY attestation service CLI to get the enclave attestation public key. The user will then set that enclave application public key as the transitive attestation signing key in the user smart contract. Afterwards, the user can keep getting transitive attestations and then process those transitive attestations in the user smart contract by calling process attested API call claims. The user smart contract will talk to the BLOCKY smart contract to verify that that transitive attestation has been signed with the enclave application public key, which is attested to in the enclave attestation which the user has verified. After that, the BLOCKY contract will return the attested claims or what came out of the API, and the user smart contract can parse and use those claims. So the way this process works in code is that here's a test. We deploy this on Base Mainnet, and the two calls are set the signing key and then process the attested API claims. Okay, so in the user smart contract, the owner of this user contract first sets the TA signing key, and then it gets saved in the address memory. Then the user will process the transitive attestation, and that gets processed here, where we call the BLOCKY verify TA function in the BLOCKY smart contract with the TA data and the signing key that comes from the user's contract memory. And then at the end of that, we get claims which the user can parse and process, and here's another function where we parse the attested trivia question JSON to get the question and answer logs to the user smart contract. Just for example, the user contract can use these values anyway at once. We can also attest weather data, any other API data. This is just one example. So what happens in the BLOCKY smart contract is the transitive attestation contains the data, the attested data, and the signature, and then further the data breaks out into the request template, to the API, the response body, the timestamp, the methods such as get, and the status code that's returned by the API. So the verify function is the core of this functionality, where we pass in that transitive attestation data. We decode the TA, that's basically just parsing it out from an ABI encoded data structure. We verify the signature by recovering the key, and then comparing that the recovered key matches the key that's been passed in by the user after setting it in their smart contract. After that, we are actually decoding the data that came in a transitive attestation. Again, that's a decode function which we have here. We decode these different fields, and at the end of that, the user gets claims which are then returned to their smart contract here for processing. So you can see this whole test run by saying like test mainnet running these tests. And you can see that the setting enclave key took about 5 seconds, and then processing the TA took far less, only 4 seconds. As mentioned, here the user can kind of repeat this process, get a new transit attestation, and then process it again. And that process again takes about 4 seconds, so 2 blocks on mainnet. You can see the result of these transactions here, where we have this process, attested API claims. Can click on that. You can see that verifying this transit attestation took about 3 cents. And then if you look at logs, you can see that we have logged the attested trivia question, where we have the question here and then the answer. So thank you. For more information, please check out our docs.